Are you considering niching? Do you run a recruiting business, a staffing firm, or an executive search firm, and really considering possibly niching your business down? Or maybe you're starting a new recruiting business or staffing firm and you're wondering if you should be niched or if you should be a generalist. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why niching down will create riches. And for the best marketing and online lead generation advice, specifically for staffing and recruiting industry, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell in the corner so you get access to my new videos that roll out every single Wednesday. Now, what I'm about to share with you right now is exactly how Jessica Shuttleworth and Katie Marriott were able to pick a niche and then subsequently get 8 new contracts 60 days after niching down. Okay, so the first thing is well, why don't people niche down? Well, typically what I've found is it really comes from a scarcity mindset. They think by being a generalist that they're going to open up a bigger playing field for themselves. And naturally, I mean, yeah, there's no argument around that. The problem is actually getting the trust from the customer to be able to, select you as being the go-to recruiter. The other problems, and we'll discuss them, are, how do you create systems around your business development and lead generation? The reality of it is, for most of you that are watching this video and most recruiting businesses, you only need a handful of clients to really, reach your goals, reach your revenue goals. And, when we're spreading ourselves thin across multiple, and we think that we're spreading ourselves thin by going into a niche, really when we're going and becoming a generalist, we're the master of, or what do they say? The jack of all trades and master of none, right? And so the first reason why it's important as you're moving forward with niching is that it creates more of a congruent business effort, right? You know that everything that you're doing, all of the candidates that you ultimately end up sourcing, there's an opportunity for you to be able to, place them in multiple roles, not just in one. All of your efforts, in terms of marketing and business development and sourcing are much more congruent. So it's just a much more efficient way to operate a business when you're niche down, because all of your efforts always end up adding up and helping and moving you forward as a business. The next thing is when it comes to doing business development, it's a heck of a lot easier to know exactly who I want to target. So as I really get to know my niche, then I can really understand, well, who are the real hiring decision makers that I need to be targeting? Who are the gatekeepers of these people? And once I understand a niche and industry, I can really get consistent with knowing who the actual individuals I need to target are. And then from there, the next thing you want to do is, well, when it comes to online marketing, when we start to craft a message that's really, or create content that really is designed to, resonate with anybody, what happens is it really connects with nobody. And so that's one of the key things with niching, is that it allows us to really start to establish you as being an authority and build a brand presence around being the go-to in the market, about being the expert in the market, rather than just being another recruiter in the market. One of the biggest challenges working with recruiters that I always see is that, yeah, you might be able to get the searches, but then you don't have any respect from the actual hiring decision maker. So you're sending over candidates and resumes and this, and you're not getting any feedback. And so what's the point? Where when I can really position myself as being an authority, then, people can actually reach out to me and ask me about how they should go about their hiring and recruiting. And that's a big, big difference, right? And that kind of leads into the last thing, is like, once you're on the sales call and somebody knows that you are the person, let's say in sales or recruiting, then the way that context of that call goes is completely different, because again, they may be actually reaching out and asking you for advice because they view you as an expert. They don't just view you as another recruiter. And that's one of the biggest things that I'll really drive home, is if you don't have a way to differentiate yourself, then you have no chance of really growing the business that you want. Because yeah, you might be able to stay busy working on roles, but are you driving and making the revenue that you can? Are you sane? Are you keeping yourself sane with the clients that you have in your book if they don't value you? So the number one thing that, really picking a niche does is it allows you to establish yourself as an authority and a brand, really build that market. You can be actively building your database with both clients and candidates, and it's all congruent effort. Everything can be leveraged, but ultimately, like, when you can be the authority in a space, that's key. Now, niching down doesn't just create the authority, but that's the start of it. It makes it a lot easier. Again, if I were going to create this video for financial advisors and real estate agents and this, that, and the other, this video wouldn't make near as much sense as it does that I've created this specifically for staffing, recruiting, and executive search professionals. And so that's kind of the basis that you want to understand, is like, if your market can watch your content, see your content, and really view you as an authority, it's because that you're speaking their language, you're talking their message, and it all becomes easier when you're picking a niche. Creating your content's easier, sourcing your candidates is easier, doing business development is easier, because It's something that you're doing over and over and over again. And you just need to carve out a corner of that market and really try to dominate it. So that's the value of picking a niche, is that it gives you the opportunity to have a more congruent business effort. It allows you to really position yourself as being an authority on, on your marketing efforts and business development efforts. And ultimately, when you're on the calls and you are the authority, those calls go completely different. You're not just another recruiter. You are the relevant recruiter. Hey, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a like or a comment or a share. And if you also, want to get more advice, like I said, subscribe to this channel or hop over to Facebook and join us on our Facebook group. The link's in the comments in the below. We have a great group of other recruiting leaders on there, and we're sharing ideas and different, ideas and ways that we can help each other with generating new leads and growing our recruiting businesses. This is Donnie Gupton. We'll see you in the next video.